is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sith Talk. Today we have on the show Shawn from the Echo Base Collectibles YouTube channel. How you doing, Shawn?
What's up, Tony, man? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about your channel and where we can find you at.
You can find me at the Sithcast podcast on Facebook. We got a Facebook group over there. And then I'm Shawn Solo on Instagram. And then I've got Echo Base Collectibles. It's actually a small YouTube channel that I literally created it just so my family and friends could see my collection because my parents are
Oh,
always like, oh,
nice.
what did you get? Let me see that. That's cool, you know? And
Yeah.
then so I really never advertise it too much. But
Uh-huh.
then now and then I would throw a few, things on there that I want people to
Yeah.
check out. And, I don't push it too much, but it does pretty good, so it's a
Nice.
little thing, like I said, I do for the family.
Yeah. And then you're also part of the Sithcast podcast too, right?
Yeah, man. I've been on Sithcast a little over 2 years now. It's crazy.
Oh, awesome. So for you guys watching and listening, I'm going to drop the link to both channels down in the description. Definitely go check them out. Now, everyone that comes on, Shawn, they get 3 questions. That way I can see.
The big three.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. The first one is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Naturally, I'm 50 years old. I grew up with the originals, so I'm going to be very biased when it comes to that.
Uh-huh.
But it's weird though, because it's like I have my favorite, which is Empire.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a given. But out of the modern movies, it's either Rogue One or Revenge of the Sith. So, and
Oh.
it's weird though, because I have to look at it that way because I mean,
Yeah.
when you're a child of the 70s, it's like times have changed, but
Yeah, yeah.
nostalgia, it just pulls at your heartstrings and you're like, listen, man, that's what I grew up on. That's what,
Yeah, of course.
that's in my DNA. So it's Empire. I would have to go Rogue One for the modern ones, but Revenge of the
Wow.
Sith is a close one though.
Yeah.
That one's good.
That's so funny to me. You refer to the prequels as the modern ones.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's my
Yeah.
age though.
No, yeah, of course. And the funny thing, this is my 50th episode of Sith Talk. This is episode number
Really?
50 of the podcast.
Oh, dude, that's
So it's
awesome.
like it was like meant to be to have you
It's
on here.
perfect. It's perfect, man. Yeah,
Oh,
it took me a while to warm up to the prequels too. Like,
so even for me, it did too. Like I'm 38 and I didn't watch
okay,
the prequel, the OT in theater. I had it on VHS in the early 90s. Like my dad introduced me to it. So I lived with those for almost a decade. And then
right,
I remember seeing Phantom Menace in theaters, Attack of the Clones, and even after Revenge of the Sith, I know for years I always said the prequels were cool, but the real Star Wars is the OT.
right,
I always thought that way
yeah,
for a while until I saw all of Clone Wars and it kind
uh,
of enriches and enhances the prequels. Now it's
yeah,
kind of like I'm like teetering back and forth. But for the longest, I always had the mindset that the prequels were cool, but the OT is the real Star Wars, and that's
right.
crazy. Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's the foundation for everything, if you think about it, and just growing up, being able to go to the theaters and to see the technology, it just changed cinema. And to be there during that time, to walk into a movie theater that was probably 350 to get in, a ticket was
Yeah.
$3 to get in,
Yep.
and just to see it firsthand you can't just take it away. I mean, it's such an experience, and it probably is like that for like your generation and the next generation. Like there's people that love the sequels,
Because it was the
and
first time in the theaters. Yeah.
they love it for that same passion that we loved it for back then. But
Yep.
we're always going to be biased and have our favorites.
No, of course. So you saw all the OGs in theaters when it came out?
So I was 4 when A New Hope came out, so I saw
Okay.
Empire and Jedi. Yeah.
Oh, and do you remember those experiences seeing Empire and Return of the Jedi? Like, do you remember going and seeing it and how you felt?
It's Yeah, you're so young, you're just in awe.
Yeah.
It really draws you into that environment, and I grew up an only child, so I was just like, this was it. This was my life.
Yeah.
Like, I eat, sleep,
Yeah.
and breathe Star Wars. But probably my favorite memory of, like, Jedi, my dad took me to see it, and I remember we were walking out, and he looks down at me. He's like, "Son," he's like, "Luke's a badass, isn't he?" And I was like, "Yes." Like, you hear your dad say that about your hero, like Luke, you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Dad, you get it. He gets it." That was probably
Wow.
one of the that'll always stand out in my mind. I could just see it so vividly. Like he's looking down, like he's a badass. I'm like, yeah,
That
because
is freaking awesome. That's so
because
true.
I mean that's when Luke grew up. He comes in the black and he was
Yeah,
confident, and it was just like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is a
yeah,
different Luke. He's not
yeah.
so whiny.
Exactly. Wow. So the next question is, what is your favorite Star Wars show?
Ooh, show Mandalorian season 1 and 2.
Nice. Yeah, everyone always kind of excludes that 3rd season, but why Mando
Yeah,
season 1 and 2?
because it was so original and it brought that same Star Wars feel. You know, George Lucas always wanted that samurai western, and that's it invoked that. Like from
Yeah,
the opening scene when he walks in the doorway, you're like, holy shit! Like it had me
yeah,
captivated. And then naturally, the second season when you bring in Luke, it's like, oh, like
yeah,
like I literally stood up. You know, it's funny because I hear people like, "Oh, I cried when I saw that." It's like I'm
yeah,
not going to go that far, but I
uh-huh,
literally stood up out of my chair like this, and I'm just like, "Oh my!" Like
yeah,
it invoked that emotion out of me, which was a lot. So
yeah. I remember
yeah,
that moment too. I remember because I woke up at 3 in the morning to watch it, and by the time we saw Luke, it was like 3:50. I remember jumping up in my living room, walking to the TV, being like super close to it,
yeah,
just
yeah.
staring like, "Is that really Luke? Like, is it Luke? Is it
Oh my
Luke?"
gosh, yeah.
And
I
the
get goosebumps from
reveal.
talking about it. It was so cool.
Yeah, and like, I love it's rare when we get moments like that nowadays in
Yes.
Star Wars, but, like, they mean so much, like, the next time I had a feeling similar to that was the end of Ahsoka Episode 4 when we first saw Hayden,
Uh,
and he was like,
yeah,
Hey,
that
Snips."
was awesome.
Yeah, so it's rare, but, yeah, I loved Mando when it came out, it was so new, but felt so old, and
Right? Yeah.
it made me hate the sequels even more because at that time, it kinda was like, all we had was that. It's like, "Damn, this sucks, but
Right.
it's all that we have," and then we got Mando,
You're like,
and I was
Mando,
like
you're our only hope. It's
yeah,
like,
and I was like, "This is great. This feels like Star Wars. It's new, it's
yeah,
different. Why couldn't they do that in the movies?" Like, it just oh,
creativity. You
yeah,
know, just the writers. They want. I felt like when Disney, you know, they purchased everything, they wanted to rush everything out so fast. They
they
tried to get this
did.
Disney channel. Let's get all these Star Wars. We're going to make our money back. And then I think they just rush everything too much. They don't put enough thought into it. And when they finally got Filoni and Favreau in there, they were like, all right, we're real Star Wars fans. We're going to do
Yeah,
this right. And
yeah,
I think that's why Mando was so successful. That and we didn't have any expectations. You
that
know,
too.
you didn't try to rewrite George Lucas's original vision.
Yep.
You took his vision, you respected it, and you ran with it, and it worked.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, it was. I love Mando. There, I mean, it's funny because, like I say, I'm OT, and I try to be super positive. I try to find a positivity in most of the shows because there's
Yeah.
so many people that like to shoot it down. And like, listen, they're not all great, and
No.
there's a lot of bad stuff in there that you're just like, eh.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed Ahsoka, or yeah, I enjoyed Ahsoka
Yeah, yeah.
mainly because of Rebels. That's just
Yep.
bringing Rebels to live act. That made it. It was like, oh, I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
that
Ahsoka literally was Rebels season 5. I remember halfway through on one of my reaction videos, I'm like, "Man, I feel like I'm just watching Rebels right now."
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, so
yeah,
good, so
so
good. When you
good.
first see Chopper, and you're like, oh, dude, it's so
I
awesome.
know. I wanted more of Chopper so bad, and
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll eventually get it, but, like, my dream scene is just seeing Chopper and R2 interact, whether they're arguing with each other or helping each other to, like,
it's
fight some
got to
bad guys.
happen. It's
It
got
it
to happen.
it could happen because now that Ezra's back in the main galaxy with Hera and Chopper, and Luke is with R2 right now,
Hmm.
if they ever like,
Oh,
oh, it's possible.
that and Ahsoka's friendly with Luke, so it's
Ye
very possible.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's,
man.
like, my dream, like, meetup. Everyone wants to see, like, this person, that person. I wanna see Chopper and R2 on the
Yes.
screen together,
Just a big
and
argument. It'll
yeah,
bring you back to that 3PO R2 days where they just always
yes,
bickered each other. Like, I could
yes,
see the same dynamic.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and we won't know what they're saying at all, they'll just be beeping
Yeah, yeah.
back and forth.
But we'll love every minute of it.
Yeah,
Like, this is awesome.
exactly. So the last question is, who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Ooh, man. That's a that is the toughest question in the fandom. It
Yeah,
really is. And like I said, I mean, when you spend 40 years, you know, just loving so many characters, It's like you're almost. I almost get it where I'm in a certain mood to like someone.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I almost want to say, okay, when people ask me that, I want to go, okay, well, can I pick like the bad guy and the good guy because I feel like they're so different.
yeah, yeah,
Because of course you're gonna love this, the Empire and the Sith, because they're badass looking.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I love Darth Maul. Like,
Yes, that
Maul.
shirt is beautiful.
I have an entire shrine up here, like, to Darth Maul. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, I've got a Phil Robinson head sculpt, and it's amazing. And then the sabers
Oh,
and the statues. Yeah,
yeah.
like Darth Maul is awesome. He was the only thing that saved the Phantom Menace, by the way. Because yeah, like my reaction, that's what I was saying. Like when the prequels came out, like
Uh-huh.
it's funny. I've told this story before. So, like the day the Phantom Menace came out, like I planned it to propose to my wife that day. So I planned this whole
Ooh.
thing so I could get proposed. I could propose to her, get engaged, and go see Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that was like, I'm not going to forget that day.
Yeah, yeah,
So I remember, we did the whole thing, the flowers at dinner, blah blah blah, and then
yeah.
we go to see Phantom Menace for the first time,
Uh-huh.
and the trailers just made it look unbelievable, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I haven't been so amped since Empire, going to the movies to see Empire, and I remember the opening scene when the Viceroy come out, and those rubber masks were so bad, and I looked over at my wife and I went, "What the?" Like I couldn't believe it, and like right
Yeah,
there, it put a damper on my heart. But I always been the optimist, so I try to find the positive, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm going to let it roll. I'm not a big Jar Jar fan. Everyone knows it. I mean, it. Everyone
Yeah, yeah,
knows it.
yeah.
That was tough. That was tough. But then when Maul came out, game changer,
Yeah,
game changer. And then they introduced Palpatine, the Emperor. It's like, okay, okay. But
yeah,
it took a few years. Like even Attack of the Clones came out. Like I enjoyed it. I
yeah,
feel like, and also seeing the prequels when they try to do everything digital, I just didn't think that worked. I think you
yeah.
need a combination of practical and digital, and
Yep,
then when you marry that, it's a perfect marriage. I
yep.
mean, look at Rogue One. He went back to the way it was originally filmed and killed it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but then when Revenge of the Sith came out, done. That movie, it was just the climax of the story. The
yeah,
brothers fighting each. It was just amazing. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So the prequels did get better.
Of
Now, when I
course.
saw Revenge of the Sith, it wasn't like, oh, this movie's okay. No, it was like, wow, this is it. But
Yeah,
the first two were, I had to
yeah,
learn to love.
yeah. It was like a slow climb for sure, but when you got to the top, that revenge, that fight, that Battle of the Heroes
The
fight on
heroes, amazing.
Mustafar, it still holds up today. Like I just rewatched it a week or two ago, and I'm watching it and I'm like, holy shit, this choreography is insane.
It's amazing. It's still hands down the best lightsaber fight ever.
It is. It is. Like there's nothing that could touch it. It's crazy. I would like to for them to do something new that we could even have a conversation that, oh, which is the best, but like
Right.
there's
Yeah.
nothing even close. It's unless they bring back Nick Gillard, it's going to be hard to ever get to that level.
Yeah, we need to start a petition. Let's get Nick Giller back.
I
Like
know.
let's sign it up now. But I think what made that lightsaber scene the best was the fact that it was two brothers fighting each other, because they were like brothers,
Yeah,
and
they
just
were.
the emotion when he's like, "You were my brother." I mean, look, you just, oh, dude,
Oh,
I mean, when you just say it,
yeah.
repeat the line,
Yeah.
it 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 elevated that to another level that it's going to be very very hard to beat.
So that's cool. You said Maul is pretty much one of your favorites. He's mine. Like I'm wearing a Darth Maul tee too.
Nice,
Like
nice.
I'm always wearing a Maul tee, but it's so funny. I remember like in '98 is when the trailer to Phantom Menace dropped, and I remember seeing him, and I was like, "Who is this
Oh
guy? Like,
yeah,
is he the new Vader?" You see the dual saber.
yes.
I'm like, they could do that. I didn't know they could do that. I was so
Yeah.
shocked, and I remember seeing him in the movie and he was so badass, but then he got cut in half and I was like, that's it.
Right.
And I never got into the Clone Wars animated show until super after it finished, until
Right.
after the sixth season finished. So I didn't know they brought him back. So
Yeah.
I'm in the movie theaters watching Solo, the Solo movie, which was that what 2018. So I'm in
Yeah.
Solo in 2018, and when you see Darth Maul at the end, I'm like, he's dead. How is he here? I was so confused.
Yeah, you didn't
But
realize it had robotic legs and all that and Crimson
yeah.
Dawn. Yeah,
So I Googled it and I was like, oh, a show called Clone Wars brought him back and he's in Rebels. So I binge watched all 6 seasons of Clone Wars, all
yeah.
4 seasons of Rebels. And like his story there, it just made him my favorite man because he's just so badass and like I just love Maul, man.
Dude, this is where you give me the boot on the show. I have not seen all of Clone Wars.
Have you seen the last season?
I watched the last season, and then I
Oh, okay,
think
okay, okay.
I kind of like when like Ahsoka's coming on. Like I'll go and watch the Ahsoka Essentials. Like I'll
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah,
main
yeah.
ones, and this is why it was weird. It took me forever to try to appreciate Star Wars cartoons because I remember going to the theater and seeing the Star Wars Clone Wars movie that was like with
Oh,
you know
yeah,
like
and it was
what was
rough.
that Jabba's son or like it was rough,
Yeah.
but it had. I have a hard time holding my attention with cartoons. I don't
Mhm.
know why. It could be my age or just like I'm
Uh-huh.
watching. I'm just like, and I catch myself on the phone. I got to rewind it. I just don't get into it.
Mhm.
So and that was a time of my life too where I was doing a lot of traveling with BMX and stuff. So I wasn't home
Yeah.
a lot to watch a lot of stuff. And I kept saying, well, I'm going to go back and watch it. So by the time I went to go back and watch it, Rebels had come out.
Uh-huh.
So I watched Rebels and I was hooked. I've actually
Yeah.
watched it 3 times. Like I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
like it, I watched it right before Ahsoka. I hurried up and watched all of them just so I can go into Ahsoka fresh. And
Yeah.
I think that really elevated the Ahsoka show for me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just having it fresh in my mind, just literally watching it days before. But
Ha
I am going to watch Clone Wars. I just got to find the time.
So how much of Clone Wars have you seen?
Not much at all, really. I watched all of the
Wow.
last season mainly because it tied into the Clone
R
Wars, and
to
so
Revenge of
I
the
have
Sith,
yeah,
yeah.
I've got a lot to watch, and it's funny because PJ is always like, "Dude, you
S
gotta go watch it."
So there no, but there is some insane so, like, the Mortis arc, you've never seen the Mortis arc?
I I go like because I'm in the community, so I hear about it, so I go and look it up, and I'll watch scenes of it, but I haven't seen it consecutive where
Oh, it's 3
it
episodes, yeah.
yes, it is on my list, everybody. Don't scold me for
Wow.
throwing
No, but see, so you have to watch that and then rewatch Ahsoka because then it's gonna hit you even
at
harder
the end.
at
Yeah,
the end. Because when we saw Balin standing on that, I almost had a heart attack because I knew what
right,
that meant and how serious that was from watching the Mortis arc, and it was in Rebels and the World Between Worlds, like the mother, the brother, the sister, they were on the doors and stuff.
right.
But no, like the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars are slow, bro. You're not gonna have fun. But season
That's
3 is when it picks up.
okay, because I did try to watch it, and it was the first 2 se like, the first season, I was like, "Man, it was too kiddie for me."
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
yeah,
a struggle, and then I'm like,
yeah,
"Can I skip the first few seasons and kinda jump into later on?" But then,
yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be tough, but I gotta do it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
get through it. Season 3, it picks up, but like the Mortis arc is super good. There's a arc with Clone Trooper fives. The arc with fives, bro, is insane. This dude almost figured out Order 66 before it happened. It is
Really?
such a crazy story. You're gonna be like, wow. So it's kind of cool you're late to it because you're gonna get some really, really like crazy arcs out of it. But
Mhm.
but then there's some episodes where with Jar Jar and you're going on missions with Jar Jar. And there's an episode with R2
Fast
and
forward.
3PO that gets
Fast
stuck on an
forward.
island. Yeah, yeah. So
Like
there's some of
Gilligan's
those.
Island for Jar Jar.
Yeah, but the Mortis arc and the Fives arc, bro. Oh god. And then Maul, bro.
Yeah, Maul and I
y-
saw them all in Ahsoka, and yeah, like
No, but like when he comes back the first time, when his brother Savage finds him and he has the spider legs,
oh, I didn't
and
yeah. There's so
honestly,
much, yeah.
honestly, one of my favorite lightsaber fights ever, it might even be like my third favorite lightsaber fight, is from Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
It's Emperor Palpatine fighting Darth Maul and Savage at the same time and kicking both of their asses. It's
Dude,
insane.
I know I got it. Well, it's funny because just hearing you talk about it, hearing PJ, hearing everyone talk about this stuff, and it's like, man, why haven't I watched it? It's like I just got to find
Yeah.
the time, and I do struggle with them. I still
Yeah.
like I said, I lose my attention. I got to go back, but
Yeah.
I know I got to get through it because once I get to the good stuff, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is it.
It's good. Have you watched both seasons of Bad Batch?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
And
watched
then
Bad Batch. I
Tales
think
of the
Clone
Jedi?
Wars was. Yeah, I've watched all the newer stuff. I think when
Okay.
Clone Wars was coming out, like I said, I was on the road a lot, so I wasn't home a
Yeah,
lot to
yeah,
watch it. And then, we didn't have Disney Channel back then, so it was like,
yeah.
what was it, Disney X
Disney
or
XD.
XD, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
my cable company, they 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 didn't have it, but they had like a subsidiary channel that would show they were allowed to
Mhm.
show a little bit of that. So
Yeah.
you would catch Clone Wars now and then, but you wouldn't get them in order. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
hard for me to watch it live. And
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "You got no excuse now." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm old and lazy." It's
Oh,
like,
man.
but yeah, man, it's like, yeah, when I'm not watching Star Wars, I'm hooked on I watch a lot of basketball, so
Oh, man. So, the next thing I wanna talk about is collecting. So,
oh
I see
yeah.
you got a lot of, dope ass collectible. Oh, look at that
Java.
Leia's beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
Slave Leia. That Jabba is crazy. So, it looks like you're into a lot of the like, the 6 scale stuff, the high-end stuff.
Yeah, I've always collected Star Wars naturally
Mhm.
as a little kid, and then you go through those lulls where you didn't want to tell anyone you were a Star Wars fan. You're just kind of closet, and then
Yeah.
you'd finally run into that one dude that's like a big collector, and you're like, "Oh yeah, dude, I love Star Wars."
Yeah.
And then, like, when the prequels came out, it got the juices flowing again. So I went out and bought all the was it Power of the Force 2
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
dude, I bought everyone. It was like on lunch breaks, we were doing toy hunts. Like it was crazy, I mean, my closet was just I didn't even have clothes in it. It was just like one of them double bolt bifold doors,
Yeah.
it was just full of toys.
Oh, man.
Because we're all thinking, "Oh, it's going to be worth something," and,
Yeah.
it's not. But so it was sad though. I ended up selling all that stuff, and I think I just got enough money to buy that Java back there. And
That
it's like,
job is
I mean,
so
I
beautiful.
I had a closet full of stuff, and then
Yeah.
so then I want to say in like 2015,
Mhm.
it was weird though because I was looking for a 12-inch like Superman figure because
Uh-huh.
I love Superman. So I'm looking for it, and I run across the Hot Toys, Superman, Christopher Reeve, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Ooh,
this is amazing! This is just like
nice.
him." So then I started researching Hot Toys, and I realized at that time they had like the New Hope Star Wars figures out. Done deal. So
Yeah.
let me see if I can show you like right up there. Like,
Ooh,
so those are all my New Hope
that
figures.
is
So
so dope in the backdrop. Oh my god.
yeah, that's that company called Jazz Inc.
Uh-huh.
So they made that wall display and a lot of so they make dioramas and they would
Uh-huh.
make them to fit like in IKEA detolfs. And then
Oh.
I'm from a graphics background, so I've got artistic. So I started getting into building dioramas.
Mhm.
So like I had built this Java one back here. Actually, a friend had started it, and then he didn't have room for it, so I took it, and then I completed the Java one. So
Nice.
so I started getting into dioramas when I started getting into Hot Toys
Mhm.
figures, and I collected those for at least, you know, 5 years, like hardcore, like that's all I
Yeah.
wanted to do. And then I got introduced into statues. And
Ooh.
I you know what? Everyone's like, "Oh man, my room's too small." Be thankful because that saves the wallet. When you don't have enough room, you can restrain yourself a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
So I think I have around 8 statues, and I might have
Uh-huh.
room for maybe 2 more, which is a good thing because statues aren't cheap.
Yeah.
So I started getting into statues, and then I started getting into one-to-one props. So I've got like the Han Solo's blasters and the lightsabers. I started out with the Disney lightsabers
Mhm.
because you can get them for 100. What was it, 150, $130 or
Yeah,
so.
something like that, yeah.
So those are like my introductory ones. And then I started buying the more high end, the more screen accurate ones. You start spending a little coin on that, but they look
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into. I got a couple of like one-to-one busts. I got that Regal Robot, the Chewbacca bust, and
Mm.
this year I just got a C3PO bust. Like it's weird though, like how collecting habits. I mean, when you collect something for so long, you always get the itch for something new, and
Yeah.
that's what keeps it going. So, originally it was 3 3/4, 12 inches,
It
and
gets
then the
bigger and bigger
statues,
and bigger.
yeah, one-to-one busts. But like I'm really into autographs right now. That's my thing. Like,
Yeah. You just
yeah.
got that awesome Carrie Fisher autograph, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was a grail piece.
Yeah.
I spent a little coin on that one, but I literally had to like have therapy with myself. Like, all right, dude, like this is expensive. Like I almost had to talk to myself and justify it to buy it. But I'm so thankful I got it,
Yeah.
and usually the things that I buy like that, where they're fairly expensive, I tell myself it's like I'm never gonna sell it. Like that one,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna, unless I have to, like medical issues, and you've got to sell your collection.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm dying with that one. The wife's gonna have to figure out how much it is and sell it. I mean, this stuff adds up. It's like I got to the point where a few years ago I ended up getting insurance on my room.
Yeah. No, that's
It's a
smart.
smart thing though, because my wife sees all the money, how much money you spend on it, but
Yeah.
it's really an investment. When you
Yeah.
start getting into high end collecting, like you got to do it smart, because you could easily run that credit card up and then you won't be able to pay for it. So
Yeah.
I, when I started doing it, I would give myself a limit, like, all right, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars a month.
Mhm.
Or if I want to buy a bigger piece, I just have to discipline myself and say, it's going to take me 2 or 3 months to pay this off. Try not to buy anything, too
Yeah.
expensive. So just be smart about it, getting into collecting high end stuff. But you're gonna love it though.
No, for sure. What is your favorite piece in your collection? Like, what's the one thing when you go in that room that always puts a smile on your face besides everything? But what's like the number one biggest smile
Chewbacca,
giver? The Chewbacca?
Chewbacca. Yeah.
Yeah. The the
Yeah.
the bust or the one to what?
The bus. Let me see. If this doesn't make anyone too dizzy, I'm gonna try to move this camera around, see if we can
Yeah.
see him.
Oh, he's just looking
There.
at you every day.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
we made that's the back of my door. Me and my buddy built that.
wow.
So that's
That is
actually my door that goes out of the room.
that is
Uh,
so cool.
yeah. I got it.
Room
I'm gonna
tour?
end up doing another room tour video, because the one
Yeah.
that's on my YouTube page is like almost 3 years old, and it's a lot of old Hot Toy stuff.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, the Chewbacca, like everyone that comes in here, they're like, "Holy shit, like that's amazing!" Because Regal Robot, they actually got a hold of the actual teeth that were used, and the teeth are molded, so it's actually the teeth that's
Oh,
used in it, and the eyes, and they got the fur to match the exact fur that was used on it,
yeah.
and yeah, it's stinking awesome. I love that piece, but there's a lot of pieces that make me smile. Don't get me wrong, but that
No,
one,
of
I think, because
course.
it's so big and it's just like it's chewy.
And it's in your face every time you're on the computer streaming. It's always just there looking at you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
It's awesome.
So the next
But
thing I
it's so
wanted to talk
blurry.
about is good old ICC Con.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
you went this year. I know I ran into you there twice. That's the first time I met you.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I know you went last year. So since you went to
Yes.
both, like which one did you prefer? The one at the hotel or this one? Like talk to me about your experiences at both.
Okay, there are 2 different feelings. The hotel
Yeah.
is fantastic
Uh-huh.
because you stay, like, right above the convention. Like, you come downstairs and you're there.
Yeah.
The best part of the hotel is the VIP day, because and when I went, it wasn't as popular as it is now. I
Mhm.
mean, it was popular, but it was not like it is now. Now, Michael's got the word out and
Yeah.
it's out there. But just being able to walk downstairs on that day, you didn't even really wait in a line to get an autograph. Like, you're walking straight up to Anthony Daniels, and then,
Yeah.
and what's cool is, like, most of those the actors, they stay at the same hotel.
Oh, so you
So
run into
you'd
them.
see them walking around. I remember when we were there, we got there before, they were still setting the convention up when we got there.
Uh-huh.
And we're just sitting in the lobby, and here comes Ian McDermott walking in. He slings his coat over his shoulder, and he's just literally strutting like a peacock across. And you're like, dude, that's the Emperor. Like, it's the first time I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
And it's just like to see them just chilling in a everyday environment. Really, that made it special. And
Oh.
then, but last year was cool because it was so large, and it was you can breathe in it. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you go this coming year, and they're going to have it at the same hotel, the Sheraton,
Mhm.
it's tight. Them
Yeah.
hallways it's gonna get real tight, so you're gonna be thankful if you get VIP.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I saw my buddy OG Geek Mike his video because he went last year to the Sheraton one,
Right.
and when I saw the video, he touted it like the best Star Wars show ever, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what's
Yeah.
ICC Con? And when I watched it, I was like, "Yo, there's so much cool stuff there, all the tables, all the vendors." And I applied for the press pass for this year's and got
Yep.
approved, so when I went, the press pass gets you in on the VIP day, and
Yep.
like you said, that experience is insane. There's basically nobody there. We were in the autograph hall. I got the entire Rebels cast to sign a poster. So I got 4 autographs in less than 30 minutes, which is unheard of. From Zeb
Yeah. Oh,
to
it's
Ezra.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I went
A-
from Zeb, Ezra, Sabine, and Hera. And
And the best thing about it, you get FaceTime with the actors.
yeah,
They, they will sit there and talk to you because they're not in a rush to like get you through this huge line. They're just hanging out there all day, and the fact that like it's maybe you and one, two or three other people, that is the experience is like no other, and that's why people are like you got to go here. It's because it's so laid back. Even the actors are like this, it's cool. Like this place is like chill.
yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that. When I got my autograph from Steve Bloom, who's Zeb's voice,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I was like, "Hey, man, when you popped up in Mando season 3, I was
Oh yeah,
so shocked, like, my reaction was hilarious. Can I show it to you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I brought up my reaction video, and I showed him the clip when I reacted to Zeb coming on screen. Because like,
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was watching it, I was like, "Holy shit, that's Zeb! Oh my god, it's Zeb." Like, I was shocked because I didn't like, nobody expected Zeb to pop up in Mando. So I was truly shocked. And I showed him the video and he was like, "Man, that's so cool. I love this. Tag me this, send me this. Like, this is awesome." So like, being able to show him a reaction video with no rush is crazy. And at
Dude, it's yeah.
at one point, we were just in there and nobody was at Ian McDermott's table. The Emperor was just sitting there. And
Yep.
General Kenobi's bunker, Jose, he was like,
Yep.
"I'm going to go talk to him." And he went over there. Dude was hanging out with him for a few minutes, bought an autograph. But like, it's just crazy. Like, when can you say, "I'm going to go walk up and talk to the Emperor," and go for a few minutes to talk to him?
Yeah. You
That-
can't.
It's unheard of, bro.
Yeah,
Unheard of.
and the fact that it's such a cool meetup place
Yeah.
because after the show they do the swap meet in the lobby. Dude,
Dude.
like the first year I went was at the Sheraton and they did that down in the lobby.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is like this vibe is just unreal, and everyone's just chill,
Yeah.
like-minded people, dude. And what was cool, like, because at the Sheraton they got the restaurant in the hotel. The restaurant's
I heard
excellent.
it
They
was
got a
good.
bar. They
Yeah.
got a bar there, dude. They
Yeah.
got everything. It's a great experience.
I'm excited for next year because knowing that we're just gonna go to the hotel and that we don't have to leave, that we could just
Yeah.
stay there, food, drinks, everything there.
Oh
It
yeah.
it's funny, when I was before I went, I was watching OG's video and I saw the lobby stuff and I'm like, "That is so weird." Like, I'm like, they do that in a hotel.
Dude,
And
it's so
and and when I went this year, I remember, like, we went in and then, like, Jose saw you, so you guys were talking, and
yeah,
I was just wandering around because I was like,
yeah.
"Yo, look at that
This
gun look at the gunship. Oh my god, this guy has a sail barge right there." Like, all
yeah.
this guy had a graded Boba Fett for, like, 25,000, like, crazy stuff you see in there, and I was just in awe. And then when that shut down, you went to the elevator and there was the list of the floors, and then you just start walking in the rooms. I've never seen anything like that, but I cannot wait to do that for 4 days straight next year. It's gonna be insane.
Dude, if you go to my not plugging my YouTube channel, but go to my YouTube channel, and I actually have a walkthrough.
I was watching it earlier, a little bit of it
Okay,
earlier from last
that
year.
was
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for the first year I went
yeah,
at the
yeah,
Sheraton, so you'll kind of know what you're getting into.
yeah.
But
I'm gonna watch the rest of it because, yeah, that way I can see the layout and stuff. But yeah,
that's the reason I did it was just like show everyone like, hey, this is a
yeah.
different type of convention.
Did you book a hotel for next year at the Sheraton?
I'm not going next year. So I
Oh,
started a new
no.
job this year, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't have any
time off.
vacation, but I am going to
Ah.
Megacon.
Yeah,
So it was either ICC or Megacon. I had to pick one, and I was like, well, I did ICC the last 2 years, and I've never been to Megacon. So, and plus, I could bring my wife and daughter, and they can hit Universal Studios while I hang
yeah,
out for 4 days at the con. So we're kind of making a family trip of it.
yeah, that's the safer choice because the ICC con again would be the selfish choice just for you.
Yes. And then I think there's a con that's going to Dallas, Rebel Scum.
Oh,
Was that it? I
you're
think
the
there's a
one. Yep, I have the browser window up right now, Rebels
oh
Scum
yeah.
Convention. I have it saved up just in case because of what we were talking about that one stream. that
Yeah.
Mark Hamill could show up there.
Rumor was that he's went to that con in the past, and then there's supposed to be a lot of OT guys going, so I'm keeping my eye out for that. So
Yeah. The minute he gets announced, I'm going right to that browser and buying the VIP package
y
instantly.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I bet you he's gonna be a little bit cheaper there than, hopefully he shows up at MegaCon is what I'm hoping. I
I
I'm
hope.
kinda hoping and I'm kinda not because I'm like, I'm already spending, some good coin on this trip,
Oh,
and then I'm
yeah.
like, 'cause it's not like I just wanna get 1 autograph or a picture. I wanna get a couple autographs, a picture, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's the scary thing because it's not every day that he does the show, so it's like a minimum of 1 photo, 1 autograph, but then if you wanna get multiple things, that adds up
Yeah.
quick,
If I
so
wanna
quick.
what so let's just say if I wanted to get, like, a photo with them and a plaque signed and a like, an 8 by 10 sign, what do you think that's gonna be, like, 1,500
Oh,
bucks
that's
or
I think the photos were 400, the autographs were 5, so that's like 1,400,
yeah, right there. I'm like, "Jeez."
which is ridiculous, but, like,
If it
for
wasn't Mark Hamill, I'm like
exactly, but for who it is, like, that's, like, our childhoods, like, growing
yeah,
up on him,
yeah.
I'd pay that in a heartbeat. I would figure it
Like,
out, but yeah.
the thing is, like, I wouldn't do that for, like, Anthony Daniels.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I would do it for the big 3, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford,
Yep,
Mark Hamill.
yep,
Those are the 3 that's an exception that will get my money.
yeah,
Now, like I said, Anthony Daniels, they do the circuit a lot,
they're
even
everywhere.
Hayden now,
Yeah.
Ewan. I've already got a Ewan autograph, which I bought off eBay from Beckett.
Oh,
But
okay.
I d but it's funny because right now MegaCon's starting to show their guests, they just announced Anthony Daniels
I
this
know.
week, so
Yesterday, yeah, yep.
I'm like, "Okay, who do I need to spend my money on if Hamill doesn't go? Because if Hamill shows up, that's the only one I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
get. It's gonna break the bank. But if not, I definitely wanna meet Ewan, I wanna meet Hayden.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
chance Hayden could come. He was there this year, so it wouldn't surprise me because I met him at MegaCon this year, that Saturday that I went, and literally that Monday I flew to London for celebration, and then
oh,
that
damn.
that Friday I did a dual photo op with Hayden and Hewen in London. So I saw him
Oh,
twice in a week period. It was crazy. He was like my best friend for that week.
dude, that's awesome, and, everyone talks about how nice he is, and it's just like that's one reason you wanna meet him because he's gonna appreciate it.
So, like, when I met him, the interaction at MegaCon, like, he was so nice. "Hey, how you doing?" Shaking my hand, eye contact at the end, "Have a great day. It was nice to meet you." Like, bro, so nice. It was
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll never
I
forget
love it.
that. So, now it's like every time he's at a show, if he's there, I'm gonna just meet him again. I'm gonna meet the chosen one every time just because he's such a nice person.
Dude, that's yeah, that makes it worth it right there.
It does.
Mm,
It
I
really does.
I wouldn't mind sneaking in a Rosario pick because I got a thing for her. So,
So, I love Rosario. I loved her before Ahsoka, like, because she was
dude,
she was great in all the Netflix Marvel shows she was in all the
dude,
movies she's in.
I fell in love with her in Clerks 2. She was in
Bro,
Clerks
she
2
was so good in Clerks,
with
bro.
the short hair. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
damn, I like that."
Yes. So, she was at MegaCon this year too, so she could come
Yeah,
back next year. The
that's what I'm
crazy
hoping.
the crazy thing, I remember, when she got announced and Hayden got announced for this year's MegaCon, they put up for sale a dual photo op with Hayden and Rosario, and this
Mm.
was before the Ahsoka show, so everyone was like, "Why are they doing that?" So I was up for a week or 2, but then it came down and they never
Oh,
did it.
really?
Because I remember I saw it and I was contemplating, "Should I do it? Should I do it? That's so cool. I love both of them." But they took it down. I think I bet you Lucasfilm was like, "You can't do that because it's kind of like a spoiler because the show hadn't come out."
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even though everybody knew that he was gonna be in it, now I'm hoping next year if they both get announced, if they put that up, bro, I'm gonna be there with Hayden and Rosario, like, in a heartbeat.
Dude, yeah, because that's what I'll end up doing. It's like instead of just getting one with Hayden and one with her, if they're
Yeah,
doing dual, you might as
do
well
it
do the dual.
yeah, do it right
Yeah,
together, so
yeah.
we'll see, I don't know, they're probably gonna save the big guns, the big names closer to the show, which sucks, like, come on, like, just
Yeah, well,
ah,
ICC does that too.
yeah, yeah.
Michael holds the big ones to the end.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Besides ICCCon, what other conventions and like shows have you been to?
I have not been to a lot. So it's funny, like, because during my life, like, I was a professional BMX rider. So I
Yeah.
traveled doing X Games. So I've traveled all over. So I did a lot of traveling. So while I was not doing cons, I was doing bike shows. So
Mhm.
I haven't gone to a lot of cons. I would say ICC a couple of years ago was my first bigger con. Like I've
Oh.
gone to some smaller ones
Yeah.
and have not gone to a celebration yet. And I'm dying for it to come to Orlando.
Ooh, yeah, bro. Once you go to Celebration, you're never gonna wanna miss one. Like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
first one was Orlando 2017, and the only reason I went is I was living in Orlando, I was driving down iDrive, and I saw banners for it, and I'm like, "What the hell is Celebration?" So I looked it up, me and my boy Ricky bought tickets for Thursday, Friday, and we went, and we had the time of our lives
Wow.
and haven't missed since then. Like, right away after that, we went to Chicago 2019, we went to Anaheim 2022, we went to London this year, we're going to
Wow.
Japan. It's
Dude, you love it. You
it's
love
y
it.
yeah, once you go, Sean, you're gonna be hooked. You're gonna
So it
figure it
just
out every year.
it just gives you just such a different feeling, just like than a normal con. Is it
It
just
it's like
just elevates it?
it feels like ICC Con, but just bigger.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when I went to ICC, I was like, "Man, this feels like Celebration, but it's just cheaper and less crowded." It's
Right.
just that, but on a bigger scale where you have more celebrities, more reveals, more panels, more announcements, but it's that same vibe where it's just a bunch of people who love Star Wars, buying
Nice.
stuff that we don't need, having a great time.
Yeah, it's 100% on my bucket list for sure. It's like, because I mean, I've always wanted to go. And like I said, I was always too busy or just
Yeah,
not at
yeah,
home. And then now it's like settling down as I get older. And it's, when you get a little bit of extra income too, you can afford to go to these things. Because
yeah,
it's funny because, when you're younger, you always scrimp on vacations or small trips. Like I'm sleeping on the floor, I'm staying at this and that. As I
yeah,
get
yeah,
older, it's like, no, I want VIP.
yeah.
I want fast passes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't want to drive there. I want to fly there. It's like, so that it adds up, but I'm kind of waiting for Orlando just because I think that'll be the more feasible one.
Oh,
And
of
then I've
course,
got
yeah.
friends and family down there too. So we can, make a family trip of it too.
Yeah, so Japan's 2025. I think 2026 they'll probably take the year off, but 2027 they have to have a
It's got,
celebration.
it's got to be Orlando.
It's the 50 year. I think Orlando, or I wouldn't mind if it went back to Chicago. Out of the
Yeah,
4 that I've been to, Chicago was my favorite celebration hands down, and
really.
I would love to go back there again.
Yeah, I think anything on the East Coast, I'll go. It's just a little bit more feasible. Even if I don't fly, at least I could drive it or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely, I would rather drive it because I'm going to pick up some stuff and I can bring it home.
Yeah. No, but
My
I
first celebration, I'm going to go nuts. Like,
oh, you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go nuts for sure. And at least at Japan Celebration on the last day is the closing ceremonies panel. So literally on April 20th of 2025, we will know the dates and locations of the next celebration. So
oh, nice.
that very day, I'll probably be at that panel live streaming it, the reveal. That way everybody could see it in real time.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, so you could count on April 20th, 2025 to
Yeah,
know when the next one is, and you can start planning.
yeah, just DM me and be like, "Hey, dude, it's right
Yeah,
here. You go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead. It's on the East Coast. You're
yeah.
going. You're
So,
going."
it 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 would be kinda crazy if they did one in 2026. I kinda don't want them to do it because financially, that would mean
Yeah,
20 3
yeah.
years in a row, and, I make bad decisions, I would go to all 3. But it would be nice to have a breather, but at the same time, 2026 could be a crazy year because, like, what if, like, Filoni's movie's gonna come out or
Ooh,
other stuff? Like,
yeah,
I guess we'll see, but at least we'll know at the end of Japan Celebration when the next one is, and that'll be very exciting.
yeah. That's right. What was that? 2025
Yep, about a year and a half from
April.
right now.
It'll go quick. If it's like this month, December is flying by. If every month goes this fast, we'll be there before you know it.
I know, yeah, exactly, so
Dude, I can't wait to go to my first one. It's like I'm
oh,
dying.
it's
Like I'm excited about Megacon. It's like, oh
yeah.
man.
No, and MegaCon's a blast too. I've been to 3 of them, but I've either lived in Orlando or lived, like, an hour away, so I'm spoiled, so it's always been easy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
MegaCon's a blast. It does get crazy packed. Did you get VIP?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's so I know it sold out pretty quick. I didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
grab it. I was like, "Damn it," because I wanted VIP just for autographs and photo ops to get to the
Yeah,
front.
I got lucky. You know Eben from the Spice Runners
Oh,
Lounge?
yeah, we
So
talked about this already.
yeah,
Yeah,
Eben hit me up, was
yeah,
like, "Here, dude, like the VIPs are on sale now." So you know, kind of got an early tip off, and then I jumped all over it. Like
yeah.
I mean, I bought it like immediately, and I was
S
like done.
so your experience is gonna be beautiful then at MegaCon, because without it, it gets wild there, mainly on Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday is a zoo.
Yeah,
It is a
dude, I
zoo.
know. Because that's what Evan was telling. He's like, dude, you have to have VIP or you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah,
And he's like, get that. He goes and book your hotel or wherever you're gonna stay. Get it now because it sells out quick.
yeah,
So I jumped on that like immediately. So we ended up getting like a little 2 bedroom condo, like right near the convention
yeah,
center. I told my wife, I was like, just take the rental car, drop me off, and then you guys go do your thing.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
because I'm gonna find hook up with you. I'll find Evan. Like
Yeah,
that's the best thing about Florida, though, is like there's so many collectors. There's so
yep,
many like friends we've made over the years that you could go there by yourself, and then you're not going to be alone.
yeah.
That's what I love about the community.
Everyone's going, like, Nilda, Will's gonna be there, I'm gonna be
Yeah, dude.
there. I think PJ
Yeah.
said he wanted it, he's gonna try to come down
He's
too.
gonna try to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him not having VIP might deter him, but we'll see. We'll try to talk
Oh,
him into it.
just let him know I don't have VIP either, we'll suffer
Yeah.
together.
It's like you and Tony will be there and we'll be walking by like, sorry
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, we'll suffer together,
You're
it's
like,
all
here,
good.
get this signed for me.
So, I mean, I'll make everything work, but the if Mark Hamill shows up, not having VIP is gonna hurt the
Ooh,
most.
that's a whole day process right
But yeah,
there.
but if I'm already mentally prepared to just know whatever day Mark Hamill's there, that my whole day is just that. I'll probably
Yeah.
literally just go there, wait in line, get that, and just leave. And it'll be
Yeah.
worth the wait because, like, from talking to Nilda about her experience meeting Mark, I almost teared up, man, just hearing her talk
Yeah.
about it. It's gonna
So
be
lucky.
insane if he shows up. So I guess we'll see, man.
Dude, I'm in your same boat. It's like if he shows up, my whole day is just gonna tell everyone, like, listen, I'm gonna be on line all day.
Yeah,
Like,
don't bother me.
I'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep,
Because I'm
exactly.
probably because I'm VIP gets you in at 2 o'clock on Thursday. I think
Yeah,
it's
instead of
2 to 9. Yeah.
yep, and 4 is for everybody else on Thursday.
Yeah. But then I think a lot of the actors don't show up until Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
The good ones are always there Saturday, Sunday. Like when Hayden came, I think he was
mhm.
only there Saturday. He might have been there
Really?
just one
Oh,
day.
see, that's tough. That line is gonna be massive.
And that's why, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he was just Saturday. It might have been Saturday, Sunday, but it definitely wasn't earlier because I think originally I was going Thursday, Friday, and then they
Mhm.
announced Hayden, and I was like, shit, I got to switch my days. So I switched Friday to Saturday because I didn't do all 4 days because I was flying to London that Monday.
Yeah,
S-
dude, I don't blame you.
So yeah, the all the big names is just Saturday, and that makes it a shit show if every
Yeah.
major star. Because, like, that Saturday also was the day Charlie Cox and John Bernthal showed up, and I did a full
Oh,
photo op with
jeez.
them.
Oh, did you? Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'll show
That's
you.
awesome.
It's right here.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely love Netflix. Oh, dude, that's so dope. Dude, that's
It
awesome.
was so awesome meeting them, like, John Bernthal, it kinda felt like he was being the Punisher. It's almost like he was kind of a dick, but it was dope, it was
I was gonna
amazing,
say, did he
and
have a little toot on him?
but, like, in a good way, and then Charlie was so nice with his British accent, "Have a good day," like, "So how you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
it was just so crazy to meet them because I loved Daredevil and Punisher, the Netflix shows, bro,
Yeah,
amazing.
did you meet Charlie at ICC this year?
I didn't, like, meet him since I met him there, but, I mean, I
Right.
saw him, and then, he was walking the floor, he walked right
Yeah.
by me, hopped in the Ninja Turtle van, and I'm there
Yeah, yeah.
videotaping that whole sequence.
I watched you posted that, right? It was your video that
Yeah.
showed him over there? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
awesome.
it was so cool, and it was just so random, like, bro, just Daredevil is just casually
Just
strolling by
walking around.
me.
But that's the thing about
Yeah.
ICC. Like, so I think it was the first day we got there. It was mainly the Daredevil cast that was like super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the guys. What was the actor's name that played Elliot, the reporter? That was
Oh, I
Paige's.
forgot his name, but
El-
I saw him everywhere. Even at the lobby swaps, he was drinking at the bar in the lobby.
Oh man, I feel bad. I forgot his name, but so like the first year we were there,
Mhm.
like he was there, just him. There was no
Oh,
other Daredevil people. So he's sitting over there. It was funny because we were down in the lobby, we were eating breakfast, and
yeah.
then he comes and sits down beside us, and I'm telling my buddy Anthony, I'm like, dude, I'm like, this guy from Daredevil, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So we were out on the floor getting autographs, and I walked by, and no one's at his table. And I
What?
walked up. I was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" He goes, "Man, I'm a Daredevil guy at a Star Wars convention." And I was like, "Man, to be honest, I felt bad." So I was like, "Man, I'll get an autograph for you,"
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, I got an autograph for him, and I think I gave him 50 bucks or whatever it was, and he couldn't break it.
Mhm.
Because he didn't get enough autographs. He's like, "Man,"
Wow.
he goes, "You want a picture?" And for the money, the extra
Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he took a couple of selfies with me.
Oh, that's cool, that's cool.
So this past year, I run into him in the elevator. I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Yeah, man, you don't remember me, but and I told him about the experience first time.
Yeah.
And dude, next thing you know, I'm out in he walks with me out to the parking lot. We're out there for 30 minutes just talking.
That's so
And
cool.
and this is what's cool about staying at the host hotels with the actors, because
Mhm.
that's when you realize, like, they're regular people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even I think it was that same morning, like we went over, we were eating breakfast, and then the guy Royce, was it Royce Jones that played Mahoney?
Oh, the cop,
Remember?
right?
Yeah, remember
Yeah, yeah.
Foggy would come over and like, here, give your mom these cigars. He's like, you
Yeah,
guys stop giving her cigars. So
yeah.
so Royce walks over, and I kind of notice who he is, and I kind of give him hey, how's it going? He walks
Yeah.
by, and he's talking to his friends, and me and my buddies eating, and he just walks up to us. He's like, "Hey, man, what's going on, guys?" And we're like, "Oh no, man, we're just hanging out."
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, he goes like, "Dude, you guys into Star Wars?" We're like, "Yeah, dude." He sat there and talked to us for 20 minutes. He just walked up to us,
What?
just random, and you're just like, "Dude, like this is awesome." And this is what makes ICC special. The
Yeah,
little things like this, and not just necessarily meeting the actors, but meeting friends like you there, and meeting
yeah.
Jose, and just meeting up with it is such a laid back, chill environment. This is what sets it apart from all the other cons. It is unbelievably chill.
Oh.
So I know I'm rambling about this story, but
No,
so
I love it.
so we meet Royce and we talk.
Uh-huh.
So that was VIP day. So that was what, Thursday or
Yeah,
Friday, where we get
yeah,
in. So we walk in, and I see him over there. The Daredevil guys. So
yeah.
you've got Elliot. I call him Elliot because I can't remember the guy's name. It's killing me. I'll remember it later. But him, Elliot, and then you had Deborah Wall, who,
Oh, Karen Page.
Karen Page.
She's
Meow,
awesome.
meow. Yeah. So
Uh,
she's sitting over there, and that's who I wanted to meet because
yeah.
she's quite pretty. So I walk in, and Roy sees us again because he just got done talking to us. He's like,
Yeah,
"Hey,"
yeah,
and then I just got done talking to Elliot, out in the
yeah.
parking lot. He comes over, so we're hanging out, and then Deborah sees that we're all chatty. She comes over, and you're like, "Dude, we're just hanging out with the Daredevil. This is like, you
Yeah.
don't do that at any other cons."
No,
And then
no.
to top it off, so on our last day, we were just hanging out in the lobby. We were all burnt out and tired. And Deborah comes walking in, and she sees me, walks right over. Next thing you know, another 15-minute conversation. And you
What?
it just doesn't happen. And it's like, this is
Oh,
so cool. So I think last week I started watching Daredevil again, and I look at it in a whole new light. Like, oh,
yeah,
like,
because you're best
man,
friends with the whole
yeah.
cast.
In my mind, I am. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't remember me, but we're buddies.
Wow. Bro, you
So,
have to come next. Just call out of work, bro. Call out sick. You
right? It wouldn't be hard. Yeah, it wouldn't
Oh,
be hard.
man. That is so I
Yeah,
I got the hotel at the Sheraton next year, so I'll be staying at the host hotel, so that'll be my
you're gonna
first
love it.
experience.
You're
But
gonna love it.
but now you saying this, like, I usually sleep in, don't care about breakfast. I'm gonna be
Oh
at
no,
breakfast the whole time until it closed, from open to close, just to run into people like that.
dude! That happened so many times this year, even with like Star Wars creators, and I'm trying to think that who I ran into a couple of people at breakfast. It's
That
slipping
is
my mind
so
right now, but
cool.
that's just what's cool when you get to the host hotel. Usually
Mhm.
the actors are there, but yeah, get up early and just get down and catch breakfast, and that's where you get to see them. Now they may not all talk to you, but you're in the same room
Yeah,
eating
yeah, yeah,
breakfast with
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, My friend Shawn said, "You guys talked to them for 20 minutes. Why aren't you guys talking to me?"
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, he paid us a little extra." It's like,
That is such a dope experience, man.
dude, that made my experience. That was my fondest memory of this year's ICC was
Yeah,
the fact that, I'm a Star Wars fan, but hanging out with the Daredevil cast, the fact that
yeah.
they were so down to earth and just it was fantastic.
So you're not gonna get that at Megacon. So just to warn you
No,
now, it's nothing like that
no.
at all. But that's crazy. But there's a couple dope shops out here too. You could probably hit up like, oh, you've probably been to it before because you've been out to Florida before.
Emerald
There's
City, baby.
Well, you know about Emerald City, but in
Yeah, yeah.
Orlando, there's
Oh,
Mike's Comics, and
okay.
then there's a place called Echo Base Collectibles that I haven't
Yeah,
been to
yeah.
yet, but I know it's like I see the videos and the pictures. They have so many good things in there. A lot
Dude,
of vintage stuff.
what's crazy, like, I had my channel up for about a year, and then I realized there was an Echo Base Collectibles, like, the store,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, damn, hopefully they don't think I tried to knock them off." It was just
yeah.
something that came to my
Coincidence.
mind.
Yeah, yeah,
It really
coincidence.
was. Yeah, I wasn't trying to do anything malicious, but yeah, dude, if I can get away and head over to a shop, yeah,
Yeah. Heck
dude,
yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh man. So that's pretty much everything that I have. Do you have anything coming up next on your channel or on the podcast you want to shout out?
We're actually winding down a little bit because Christmas is coming up. I think we're just going
Yeah.
to do a hangout show next week. Nilda will be back, and then the following week we're going to be off. So we've got a few good guests that potentially are in the works.
Nice.
So I don't want to say anything yet and jinx it,
Oh, of course.
but that's one thing that's fun about the doing the podcast too. You get these guests on, and then you hopefully you get enough of them on, and they all run in the same circle. Maybe they'll start talking about
Oh,
you, and then maybe you can get a little bit
yeah.
better guest, and
Yeah, go up the
yeah,
chain. Yeah.
yeah. Because I just love hearing behind the scenes stuff. Like I thrive on that stuff.
Yeah, it's so cool for sure.
Yeah, but like I said, it's been chill, and it's been a blast having you and Will on. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are awesome. You
So
guys are
much fun.
killing it. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
love what you guys are doing. I tell you what, I wish I could have your energy just to keep up, because I'm so bad with like posting. Like, when I first got into the community, not
Mhm.
collecting, but when I realized, oh, there's a whole Star Wars community on
Yeah.
Facebook. Like, I was posting everything and what I
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
and then when you're 3 4 years into it, you're just like, I slow down a lot, and
Yeah.
there's times where I'm like, damn, man, I should. I wanted to get my YouTube channel to 1,000. It's like 800 and something, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to post videos to do that. And I'm so bad. But usually the stuff that I post on there is when I buy stuff, like
Yeah,
new
yeah.
stuff. I want to show it off, but I've
Mhm.
been very good. I'm very content with my collection, so I haven't been buying a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't post it. And like I said, I'm content with it now. So now's the time I think I need to do an updated room tour. I'll probably do
Yeah.
that over the Christmas holiday and then stick it up there. And
Yeah, I'm looking
but
forward to that for sure, the room tour.
it's tiny too. Everyone's like, "Oh man, you got." I was like, "Yeah, but this is like a 10 foot by 14 foot. It's a small bedroom, and it's like
Yeah.
convert." I waited for my oldest daughter to move out. She graduated college and moved out. And I'm like, done.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you guys watching, I'm gonna put the link to both the channels down in the description. Definitely go check them out. Thanks again, Shawn, for coming on. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate you,
Thanks
man.
for having me, man.
Yes, and that's everything for this episode. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Peace.